Nude. As a song, existed unknowingly for a long time throughout Radiohead, and took on many different forms of evolution. Originally written as failure to receive repayment will put your house at risk, then big ideas, don't get any, and then finally Nude as we know it today. The fans only knew of this song as a secret page of lyrics on the Radiohead website in 1996, and through sparse live performances. The song was originally written in 1996 and intended to be on OK Computer, but the band knew they had written something amazing, and therefore did not want to release it until it was perfect. It wasn't until In Rainbows in 2007, 11 years later, where they finally felt it had reached that point. Thanks to an exclusive cassette of the OK Not OK B-Sides album, we got an early recording of the song in its initial state, recorded in 1996. In 1996, there was a page on Radiohead.com that consisted of lyrics displayed almost as if it was code. Not only did this serve as a good teaser for the upcoming album, OK Computer, but also gave the audience an emotional, lonely, isolated poem. The lyrics portray notions of a want for death and an ending. However, the narrative voice urges the writer away from this. If you feel that low again, please try, remain. With the glitched text, the words feel like a malfunctioning robot trying desperately to cling on to life and fit into its designated programming, or space and life. Remain inside, circle of friends. It will pass. Please remember all the good things. The writer is constantly trying to remind themselves of the good things in life, and that the bad things will pass. They're clinging on to the last remains of hope. However, it could also be seen as the writer simply only having the pressure to stay alive through peers, or maybe just the fear of death, but actually has no current personal reason to at all. One of the only connections to the later product of this song is the line, "Don't go, we'll only want to come back," which in the context of this iteration doesn't even mean the same thing as what it does later on. Here, it could even be interpreted as the writer telling themselves to not go outside or come out of the comfort zone, since you'll just want to come back anyways. During the OK Computer tour, Radiohead would take these lyrics and adapt them into the first known performed version of this song. Later, after even more interpretations, it would become what we know as Big Ideas, Don't Get Any. A recorded demo was released in 2017 on the OK Not OK B-Sides album, originally recorded in 1996. In this iteration, the meaning has completely changed. York describes a lust for someone, an undying longing in which he cannot fulfill. You don't stand a chance. With the girl he seeks skirt in a mess, this implies she's either already taken, or is sleeping around with perhaps not so good people. York's already accepted that he has no chance at all against the competition, and really should give up, but he still has to cling on and fantasize of what he could have. With this line repeated, it's almost as if it's a wailing beg. After a singer has come out of his previous rut and is only clinging on to life since that's what they feel they must do, they've finally found a calling, a raison d'etre. After being in the dark for so long, they're desperate to take that glimmer of newfound hope. This version has the first introduction of the lines, "Don't get any big ideas," and "You'll go to hell for what your dirty mind is thinking." Despite this desperate calling, York still feels guilty for what he is feeling, and feels as if he is a pig for feeling this way. Even after this demo, the song continued to change before becoming what we know as Nude. The band played the song less and less live, other than sparse acoustic renditions. Now that you've Here, it is at its closest to its final In Rainbows form, whilst also managing to relate back to the original page on the Radiohead website in 1996 at the same time. It was one stanza, one line, which was later removed. There are a couple renders of this line that change between performances, but it all relates to the same theme. Don't give in to temptation. It's a sin. You'll go to hell for what your dirty mind is thinking, after all. She stands seems the previous lust has gotten York into a problematic relationship now. One where something is missing. One where he feels guilt after any interaction, whether it's sexual in nature or not. It could even be seen that the writer is speaking of an ex, toxic or even abusive. She teases and even bullies him into coming back, but York already knows it's all wrong, and he won't feel happy in the relationship he finds himself in. The description from the previous iteration has turned into regret. This is further backed by the reintroduction of the line, "Don't go, you'll only want to come back again," from the original state. A state where York was in a place of stagnation, fear and despair. The original feelings are coming back. The relationship didn't fix all of his problems, it only delayed them. An alternate line is, "She kisses with tongue and beckons you to bed." The act of kissing with tongue is a very intimate and even sexual act, and in the perspective York creates it could even seem manipulative or borderline assault. She kisses you with tongues and pulls you to the bed. Finally, we come to the song we all know as Nude. The song released in 2007 was Acceptance. For the band, it was acceptance that the song was finished. It was in its final state, it was perfect. For York, it was acceptance over his relationship. New or old, he's accepted that nothing is going to happen. It's a bittersweet song. Yes, he's taken and kept the situation he's in, but it's by no means ideal. It's rather giving up over acceptance. The removal of the previously added line, "She stands stark naked," or "She kisses with tongue," implies that this no longer happens. No affection or intimacy is experienced anymore, if it were even experienced in the first place. Now, the final line has a whole new meaning. Rather than feeling guilty over lusting over a girl way out of his league, he feels it's a sin to even show affection in the otherwise perfectly fine relationship he's in now. He mustn't ruin it. There's nothing wrong after all, but he's trapped. The narrator is stuck with pessimism. However, unlike its first form, it now shows how people act in relationships. The lies we tell ourselves and our partner, and ignore the pitfalls in ourselves alongside others. Over time, this becomes futile, as we know something is missing. The song is no longer from our singer trying to love someone, but instead someone who knows a fundamental powerlessness. No matter what, it will fall apart. The song shows a want for something we cannot have. However, love makes us vulnerable and in denial to reality. The first verse shows the narrator's awareness of the relationship's bind to failure. Don't get any bigger, you paint yourself wide. There'll be something missing. It all shows a knowledge of futility. No matter the lies we tell ourselves, the way we try to act and how pure we paint ourselves, it will inevitably fall apart. York describes filling up with noise after painting himself white. Purity. He feels that even to entertain the thought of any longing, lust or affection in this perfect relationship is dirty. It's a sin. So he tries his best to act his perfect self, hide any feelings he has, but you can't kill them. It's just under the fake white layer he painted himself with. You'll still fill up with noise, it all becoming more unbearable than before. The song continues with tones of disappointment. However, the narrator is aware of this. Their hope is lost, so don't get any big ideas. In a way, the final song combines the theme of all the other messages from every iteration into one final state of being. It's a strange muddle of the stages of grief, almost. Whilst not in order, here it was first depression, then anger, lust or denial, then back to depression, and then acceptance or giving up. The previously used organ and more distorted guitars have been since removed for this version, along with a lot of the lyrics. This rendition is stripped down to its core. The song highlights this even more with its opening, being the outro of the song literally snipped out and reversed before it cuts to just the bass and the simple kit. Just a simple broken octave bass line, a simple hat kick and snare beat, and eventually vocals. Because of the minimalism, it makes it all the more impactful. It says its piece and leads without any extra fluff. The song does eventually build and build with added guitar licks and strings before bursting into the climax after the last line. Isolated. It finishes where it started. It's like this forever now, but York has accepted this. You'll go to hell for what your dirty mind is thinking, after all. I've always had a fascination for video essays and analyses on YouTube and anywhere really. And the entire time I've been on YouTube, have tried to make my own. It is my favorite genre of video on YouTube after all, but I guess I just stuck with music mostly and use this one for shit posts for some reason. I mean, sometimes it was funny, the other times it was just the first thing that came to my head and I was like, ha ha ha. But I may as well use the subscribers on this account for something decent at least. So here I am, analyzing Radiohead. How far we've fallen. But no, it's quite sad how long it took me to write this script. I have so many half-written scripts for so many other songs and even games I want to analyze that I don't want to say scrap because I do want to come back to them, but I just stopped and I just didn't finish it. And that is a problem with me. I do just start things and don't finish them, but still I do want to commit to this, and the fact that I have recorded this script, finished the script in the first place, is an achievement really, and I hope it does get to its video format. I hope it does get uploaded, and I hope I do this with more songs and games or whatever I want to analyze really. Like I said, I have done this in the past with I had a channel that I was supposed to do with my friend that my friend never contributed to, but the idea was there. He's to be fair, I have sent scripts for the future of this channel, I suppose, to that same friend, and he's giving me feedback and stuff, so that's fair. But yeah, I had a whole channel where I did upload a couple video essays. One was anime slice of life, which I do still rewatch that video. There is really cringy bits in it, but as long as we ignore those, I was tempted to re-upload it here, but I thought it's no use. You may as well try and find it yourself. You won't find it yourself. It's got 60 views on a channel with 4 subscribers, but you never know, you could find it yourself. Teehee. And on my main music channel as well, I have actually done a song analysis before, Tom Adele, but that was made in 2019, I think, or even 2018, and it is the worst thing ever. And none of my audience knew who Tom Adele was, and the comments are just, and all my even my in real life friends didn't, even my friends didn't even know who Tom Adele was. And I think the only feedback I got is that I sounded too depressed. And looking back now, I sound a lot more fucking depressed now. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if I'm in a downward spiral, but who fucking cares? But anyway, yeah, I've rambled far too long. This is not to pad out the watch time. It already got to like over 8 minutes. So, and I'm not monetized anyway. So like, this was this is just a passion project of mine that I hopefully want to continue doing rather than just music, because like YouTube, I have missed YouTube. I say that as if I'm like a retired YouTuber that everyone knew, although I did get a video of like 500,000 views, so I'm pretty much famous. But yeah, I have missed it, and I'm glad I'm doing stuff again, and I hope to continue it, is what I'm trying to say. I would also like to thank my friend Evie for helping me out with this script. I initially just reached out to her because she once upon a time gave me a like really fascinating like list of facts and like mini analysis of this song to me on a bus to town once, and I was like, oh, I did not know any of that. And to be fair, that's the entire inspiration for like even writing about this. And I did ask her, so, oh, could you like you know, tell me about those facts again? And she just ended up like writing a whole essay herself. So I do admit I have a couple paragraphs are literally just hers. So thank you, Evie. That's credits to you. But yeah, so yeah, this entire video script and everything is heavily inspired by that. So thank you. So I just like to say thank you for that, and just say that this isn't 100% me, but the rest of the stuff probably will be. So